All right, guys, Michael Cohen here with you. We're here at the studio here monitoring the Penn State Michigan State game. I got to react to that Jets game. That was an absolute train wreck of a football game. An absolute train wreck of a football game in every facet possible. If there was any play, any moment in a game that could signify or even encapsulate an entire season, it was what is now being called the Fail Mary or the Hail Mary, however you want to call it. The pass by Tim Boyle into the end zone that gets picked off him and brought back 99 yards for a touchdown by Miami as they took a 17-6 lead into the locker room. This after the Jets had a interception return for a touchdown by Brandon Echols, return for a touchdown that cut it to a 10-6 deficit, and then you get then after that an interception by DJ Reed, and you're thinking, here we go, and then of course the heave into the end zone that gets picked off and brought back all the way. There's no other way to encapsulate an entire disaster of a season than that play right there. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? I see fans remarking online, social media, saying fire the coach, fire the offensive coordinator, fire this guy, fire that guy. You can scream all you want. You can scream all you want. Chances are, I don't know what else to say. Let's just start with this. You can blame Zach Wilson all you want, and everyone has heaped on Zach Wilson, blaming him for what's going on here this season. I totally understand that. But when you don't have an offensive line that can block, when you don't have depth, the way we all thought this team had depth at wide receiver at the skill positions outside of Garrett Wilson, you're benching the guy that you brought in to be your number 2 receiver in Allen Lazard. What does that say about this football team where they're trotting out another 12 different offensive linemen in the starting lineup? And this was another one where they had, I think it was Carter Warren. I think he's the 12th guy to start on the offensive line this season for this Jets team. Are you kidding? They can't stop a nosebleed on the offensive line. They are a mess. And if you want to blame one person and put all this season on one person, it's got to be the general manager, Joe Douglas. He put this team together. How is it that a team a general manager who came in here back in 2020, who was all about building the front line of this Jet offensive line, has failed so miserably in doing so? It's incredible. They failed miserably in trying to build this offensive line. I just don't know what else to say. They can't block. They can't pass protect. 7 sacks to Tim Boyle. Then you add on top of that, you have the fact they can't run the football with Breece Hall. You see the frustration of the players, the anxiety, the anger in the players' faces. Guys like Hall, guys like Garrett Wilson, Tyler Conklin, a sense of resignation in their voices. So yeah, I understand where the reporter asked Robert Saleh, "Do you have concerns about your job?" I understand that, and Saleh answered appropriately, "No." But at the end of the day, it's really not just on him, it's on the entire way this team was built. And another big part of that, of course, is going to be the quarterback position with Aaron Rodgers. Does anybody really want to see Aaron Rodgers come back now? Does anybody want to see Aaron Rodgers come back now? At this point in the year, with the season all but lost? All but lost? Why risk injury? It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. Sit him out for the rest of the season. Don't put him behind this offensive line. Don't risk that. It's a total waste. You're risking further injury, whether it be to that same Achilles or to another serious injury that could come associated with it. It makes no sense. What's the ending result going to be? That's the big question. This Jet season has gone from playoffs, from being a playoff hopeful in the eyes of some, maybe even a Super Bowl contender, although I was never really on that bandwagon, to now being a season where there's nothing but questions. Questions about what the direction of this franchise is going to be. And that now it falls on the owner, it falls on Woody Johnson, it falls on his brother Chris Johnson. Do they believe that they can keep winning with this group of Saleh and Douglas? Or do they feel they have to hit the eject button? And I think a big part of that decision-making is going to be Aaron Rodgers himself. Because if he likes Saleh and Douglas, he likes having the guys that are here still, and he's able to convince the Jets that, hey, look, 2024, I'll be back, I'll be fully healthy, they'll be just hit the reset button, it'll be okay. Don't be surprised if everybody comes back. That's just the way it is. Hack it too. Don't be shocked. We'll see what kind of power at that point does Aaron Rodgers yield as far as what's going on with the ownership. And that, of course, is a dangerous play. And that is a very risky play for the Jets. Let's just be honest. You're putting, if let's just say that argument is the case, where Aaron Rodgers could have a say in what Jet ownership decides to do as far as the coach, the GM, the offensive coordinator, that's a very dangerous play for the Jets moving forward. So I think it's now obviously it's no longer a question about playoffs. It's no longer a question about, hey, Zach Wilson, he's truly not the answer? We know he's not the answer. We all know the offensive line is a mess. The question now is, how does this group, Saleh and Douglas, how do they try to save face? Can they win enough games here towards the end of the season to keep things going? Does ownership have the faith in him? And does Aaron Rodgers have the faith in him? And does he still want to keep playing beyond this year? We have to imagine, based on everything that's going on up to this point, he does want to play next year. He could be a big part in how the Jets move things forward into 2024. So, folks, it's going to get rough. It's going to get rough, as we all know. But I just don't know what else to say anymore. But here I'm listening to this Penn State game, and they won 42-0 over Michigan State. Maybe the Jets should just trade for all the Penn State players, draft all those guys. What do you think? Yeah, it's not going to happen. Forget it. I'm only kidding. Like and subscribe. Leave your thoughts below. We'll talk to you next time.